Hi you guys, welcome to another episode of Another Fat Guy Cooks. I am your fat guy, Andy Baker, and today we are going to be doing poutine, which is from Canada, which is basically cheesy chips, but with fancy cheese. Okay, just play the song.
Another lost day, another lost year, another chopped onion to cover up the tears, another dream dead, another loss on the books, another fat guy cooks.
Hi guys, me again, the other me that you can't see. Okay, so first off, we're gonna make cheese curds because poutine has cheese curds in it, and you can't buy them anywhere in the UK. So to make cheese curds, you need a shitload of milk. So we're just gonna use a big 4 pinter. We're gonna basically do this the same way we heat up chocolate, which is to do it over a water bath so you don't get any direct heat on the milk, because that burns it, causes problems, etc. So we're going to dump in the 4 pints of milk, and then we're going to heat it up so it's just like lukewarm. You want like 90 degrees Fahrenheit is about what you're aiming for, so you can still stick your finger in it, it's not crazy hot. The reason we do that is because the stuff we're about to throw in it now that I'm sorting out called Rennet, which is this enzyme which effectively makes the milk coagulate and turn into cheese, and that works the best at about that temperature. So Rennet's dead easy to get. You just buy it off Amazon. Each little sachet usually does like a stupid amount of milk. So I think these do like 100 pints each. So we're just going to use the tiniest little sprinkle of it. As you can see, tap, 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 tap. Look how delicate I am, like a little flower. So tiny little bit in there with a little bit of lukewarm water. Swirl that around a bit, and then once the milk's up to about 90 degrees Fahrenheit, then we throw that into our milk. That is what water looks like with something dissolved in it, which basically just looks like water. Okay, so yeah, we've got both of those things under control. That is a anal probe? Rectal thermometer? No, just normal thermometer. Okay, just a normal thermometer. We're going to use that to check the milk. Make sure you wash that before and after using it, in case somebody made that mistake. So yeah, we're just checking that it's 90 degrees. Now we're going to dump our rennet in, and then once the rennet's in, you want to leave it for about half an hour to coagulate. When you mix your rennet in as well, you want to do it quite gently. You don't want to sort of frothy milk up, so just using a little ladle or something. Yes, up and down, well done. Just want to sort of move it up and down just to mix it in nice and gentle. One other thing that I did that I didn't show here because I completely fucked up this recording from every different angle, is I added about a big sort of tablespoon of sour cream to it as well. It just adds a little bit more flavour and it changes the acidity slightly, so you are supposed to do that, and I did do that, but I forgot to record it because I am an idiot. Okay, so then we leave that for half an hour. Now, poutine, other main ingredient, chips or fries if you're American. I forgot I did this. Yeah, well done. Everyone's proud of you. Twat. Alright, get on with it. Right, so we're just going to chop our potatoes up into fries, something about, a centimetre by centimetre, just basic chips. You know how to make chips. We're going to double fry our chips, which just makes them a little bit fluffier on the inside and crunchier on the outside. But we'll see how we do that in a minute. And the other ingredient to poutine is gravy. So we're just going... So in fact, all it is basically chips, cheese, and gravy. You know that thing that you get from the kebab shop on the way home from the pub 1,000 times, but with different cheese, basically. And we're going to try and make it all from scratch. Okay, so once your chips are all chopped, you are going to stick them into a colander and give them a rinse off, because you want to get as much starch off of the potatoes as possible. because it can fuck up the frying a little bit and make them so they don't crunch and crisp and whatever. So yep, just going to give those a little rinse underwater. And once those are rinsed, we're going to throw them onto a paper towel and dry them off as much as possible. You want as little water on these as you can, because again, it cocks up the frying, makes them spit and makes a mess and stuff. So we're just going to dry those all off. While those are drying, I just want to show you a little peek of next week. A guy from Twitter called Clint Thulu sent me a big old box of shit, like you can see here, from Tennessee. Thank you, Clint. So next week or the week after, we're going to do an episode where we go through all that, eat it, talk shit about it, and generally try and piss off as many people from Tennessee as possible. So the oil is now up to temperature, nice and hot. It doesn't have to be rip-roaring hot, because you can kind of sort of slow cook them in the oil at this point. All you're looking for basically is to cook the fries through, but not to get a hell of a lot of colour on them, because we're going to get that in the second fry-in. So for now, we're going to throw those into the oil, and we're going to fry them for about 5-6 minutes, something like that, just till they almost start browning, but you don't want any brown on them at all, just like a nice blonde fry, but that's cooked through. While those are going, we're just going to get a gravy started. So there's a load of ways to make gravy. I'm just going simple for today. We're going to throw in 2 of these pre-packaged chicken stock little squish packs, because they're quite nice tasting. So we're going to throw those in. That's 1 and 2. And for the best gravy that I've ever tasted was like 2/3 chicken gravy, 1/3 beef gravy. So we're going to try and go for something along those lines. Now, the other ingredient I'm going to use is a little hockey puck out of the freezer called Demi-Glace, something like that. I made this a while ago when I boiled up a shitload of beef bones, made a broth, and then condensed it all down to like a syrup, and then froze that. So it's like a really intense beef syrup hockey puck, which is great and everything. So we'll show you how to make those at some point. Now, we're going to cut our curd, which basically means we're going to score it like a chessboard, effectively. You'll see it sort of coming apart. This just didn't record, so I've got no good footage of this, unfortunately. But take my word for it, it cuts like jelly, effectively. So you're going to cut it one way, and then you're going to crisscross it the other way, and then once you've done that, you're just going to disturb it slightly. You don't want to like completely stir it or mess it all up or whatever. You're just going to move it around a bit. Then you're going to put the lid on, and then you're going to leave it now for another hour on a slightly higher temperature, about 120, 130 degrees, something like that. Right, so at this point we're taking the fries out. They've taken on like a nice little blonde colour, and then we're going to bag those up and freeze them. Obviously we're going to get as much fat off them as we can before we do that, but there we go, big bag of fries. We're going to throw those in the freezer for about 2 to 3 hours until they don't have to be 100% frozen solid, but you definitely don't want them to have, to be warm anymore. So you want to basically get them as chilled down as you've got time to do. If you've got time to just properly freeze them, that's even better. Right, hello. That was bizarre. Okay, so we are now about an hour later, and as you can see, the curd has shrunk massively in the pan. Again, it's a shit camera angle. I'm sorry about that. But as you can see now, there's a lot of whey, which is the like milk water stuff that's left over from when you make the curd. Don't touch that, you fucking idiot. Really, really hot. There you go. Towel. Genius. Absolute genius. So we need to get rid of all that whey now and just keep our cheese curds. So we're going to pour our cheese into a colander, and then we're going to drain off as much of the whey as we can. While that's draining in the colander, we're going to throw our stock and boiling water that we knocked together earlier. Did I say to put boiling water in it? I probably didn't. I should have done. Put boiling water in there, dissolve it all together, and then throw it in a pan. And then we're going to bring that up to a gentle simmer. Once we've got that up to a gentle simmer, we're going to throw in about a tablespoon of corn flour that's already been dissolved in water. I went a little bit heavy with the corn flour. Just do it to how thick you want your gravy. But so you whisk your corn flour into your water, again room temperature water, and then slowly add that to your simmering gravy, and you will see it magically thickens up. I went a bit crazy, so it ended up being rather thick. Like me. Look at him with his big, sexy, fat ass. Right, once that's done, then we're going to get our cheese and we're going to get it and wrap it in some paper towels. Did I just miss an entire step off here? Jesus Christ. Yeah, so in that interim part, I wrapped it in cheesecloth and hung it up and got more liquid out. After doing that, I'm then putting it between paper towels and then putting a weight on top of it to get even more liquid out. You basically just want to be getting as much liquid out of there as possible. Okay, so frozen fries out of the freezer. Break those up with your hands a little bit so they're all loose, and then throw them in some hot oil. Toss them around and get a nice brown, crispy colour on them. They should now be super, super crunchy on the outside and really light and fluffy on the inside. I forgot to do this, but at this point you want to throw a load of salt over the top of them so it sticks. Always the best time to do that when they're straight hot out of the fryer. Okay, so let's plate this thing up and see what we've got. I think we fast forwarded here because I decided to try and be fancy and took ages about it. Come on, you can do it. It's going to look like shit anyway. You're terrible at this, you know you are. But, you know, life loves a trier. So yeah, chips first, cheese on top, cubed up, all nice. And then we're going to throw our gravy on top. Loads of that. Okay, that's it. Poutine. I mean, it looks pretty fucking good. I don't know if it's poutine, because I've never had poutine. And I'm basically doing this from checking about 4 or 5 different recipes and whatever. But please let me know if I've fucked anything up horribly, if they're the wrong cheese curds, if it's not supposed to look or taste like this. I don't fucking know. I've done my best. It tasted good. Let me know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll pass you back over to Fatty.
Alright, guys. Whew, fucking warm in here. So yeah, that's poutine. Tastes absolutely amazing. Completely forgot to salt the fries as they came out, but apart from that, pretty bang on. The curds. Man, making cheese is fucking difficult. But I think I did a pretty good job. Anyway, if you're Canadian or if you've had poutine before, because I actually haven't, so if you've had it before, feel free to comment and let me know how I fucked up and where. But for now, another fat guy's just cooked. I'll catch you guys later. Bye. I'm totally gonna eat all this shit now. Oh my god.